Got another reaction video for y'all. My homeboy Josh from Lockdown 301.
But that's what I have for y'all today. A personal story that I don't think I've told on this channel. I've told a little bit about the experience of the whole, but what brought this memory up in my database was the Chris Watts story I did the other day. I've been reading a lot of stuff about how this guy's been interacting with people in these these blocks where you're on lockdown. And I was just thinking about the whole phone procedure and stuff like that, because he was making calls for other people's families and all that good stuff. And it just made me think of a time when I was in Virginia Beach City Jail. Probably the worst hole I've ever been in. I call it the hole. Some people call it segregation, shoe, side pocket, whatever you want to call it. Call it whatever. I call it the good old-fashioned hole, because that's what it is. They put you in the back in a hole. And this was the worst one because, believe it or not, they left the lights on 24/7.
I told y'all, didn't I? I told y'all. They always leaving them lights on. Sleep deprivation. Sleep deprivation. A military tactic.
I mean, the brightest fluorescent lights you could possibly think of. I came out that shit looking like Casper, and I was only in there for like a week. It was treacherous, man. And not to mention, this was the first time ever I experienced being in the hole with a cellmate. A cellmate, man. And this dude, I swear, he had to have been some kind of shot caller. Or I use that word because a lot of people tend to understand that word. We don't use shot caller. I ain't never heard that word. And I've already been to prison once. I was about to go to prison for the second time. And, I've already seen a thing or two. So I know the signs when someone's got a little bit of power. But I was in the hole probably by myself for the first 5 days. I only had like 2 days left when this guy came into the cell. He was like 6'1", really dark-skinned cat, big, big dude. A lot of people say, dude was massive, dude was big. Well, believe it or not, a lot of these guys are big and massive, you know what I mean? And when they brought this guy to my door, first off in my head, I'm like, hold on, I'm in the hole. Why are you bringing someone in the cell with me? I've never seen this before. I saw the empty bunk. I thought maybe they just kept it there in case of an emergency, but nah, they house people together in the hole. Shit was horrible. There goes all my relaxed time, if you know what I mean. But this is where it got a little weird, man, because when he came into a cell, he didn't even look at me. He as soon as the cell door closed, he started hollering out the door immediately, and it was to some people and to some COs. He had a CO by the door. I believe it was a sergeant, actually. And he was talking to him for a minute just about the charges. But, most people, when they get thrown in the hole, you don't talk to anyone. They just keep you there. No one's coming to talk to you. No one, they'll talk to you when they want to talk to you. This dude had someone come and talk to him for like an hour right there. And this dude hasn't even looked at me or talked to me or nothing. Finally, he turns around after like 40 minutes to an hour of talking with this lady. I overheard the whole situation. My little bird ears were listening. He was put in there for investigation, and everyone who gets put in the back for investigation is probably like one of the worst ways to go in there, because you never know when you're going to get out. You get put in the hole, in the side pocket, in the shoe under investigation. It could be forever before you get out. So anyways, he finally turns around and he comes up to me like wide-eyed, right? And he kind of just leans down because I'm sitting on my bunk. And he's wide-eyed, and he's kind of like a close talker. Close talkers freak me out, man. And that's another thing that reminded me of this story, was a close talker at the hospital when I took my child, when she got her broken leg. This doctor came in, it was a close talker. He got like right in my face talking to me like, are you going to kiss me, bro? Some people are literally...
Yeah, I don't like close talkers neither, man. In fact, I let it be known. I bag up. I put my hand up like this, like, yo, bag up.
Close talkers, I don't like that shit. Anyway, this guy was a close talker or something, man. He wasn't trying to intimidate me. This was just him being him. But he gets real close to me and he says, I got a bottom bunk pass, man. That's definitely a tester right there. When you got a bottom bunk and someone comes in and one of the first thing he says to you is he's got a bottom bunk pass, okay? You got to analyze the situation, because some guys will do that just trying to punk you off your bottom bunk. So that's what came across my mind first thing smoking. But this dude, I can guarantee, would dust me off in that cell within an instant. Without a doubt in my mind. You know what I mean? So I was weighing all my options, and I said, you know what? I said it logically, clean cut, and stern.
And before he go on, I'm gonna let y'all know right now, whatever he about to say, if he say he told him, nah, you can't have it, he risked the chance of getting whipped out in that cell. Could possibly lose his life. Or,
Man, I only got 2 days left in here, dog. You good? Go ahead, bro.
that was a smart thing to do. Trust me. Listen, the goal is to get home. The goal is not to get murdered while locked up. The goal is to get home. So all you people out there that talk about, oh, he a punk and I would have did this, I would have did that. All right. Okay.
And I did. I only had like 2 days left. That was a respectful thing for me to do. Most guys, they might have put a little pressure on him. Like, nah, I need to see that paperwork before I give you this bottom bunk. And then next thing you know, his paperwork don't show. And then he's complaining. He's like, bro, I swear I got it. And then next thing you know, you're fighting. Someone's dead.
Yeah.
Ads on YouTube must be so annoying. But with 3 clicks, you can install an ad blocker and you'll never see ads again. Step 1, go to adblocker360.com. Step 2, click on Ad Extension. Step 3, confirm. All done. No more ads will be shown.
And if you one of them type of people that think that you was, all right.
I always weighed out my options, man. I always played shit out in my head almost within an instant. And this was probably the best thing I could have ever done in that hole, because I'm gonna explain. I gave him the bottom bunk and we started talking. He started opening up a bit about his situation and under investigation. He didn't know why he's in there. They just scooped him up type.
Oh, he knew why he was in there. Oh, he knew why he was in there.
Shit. And then he started writing kites. I mean, kite after kite after kite after kite. Probably at least 20 of them damn things he sent out that cell. And that's one thing that wasn't happening in there. You know, nobody was coming to people's cells. Nobody. No trustees, no COs, no sergeants, no lieutenants. I mean, it was just quiet back there before he came. How is this damn dude getting all these people to the door? Trustees, everything, man. You name it, they were coming to that damn door. But it was very entertaining for me because I was losing my mind. I didn't know what time of the day it was. Lunch, breakfast, dinner, man. It was just, that's how I was timing everything. And because the fluorescent lights were on all damn day and they put this flap over your window. And thank God he came in the cell because the flap was never up. And then you're supposed to get phone calls, right? You're supposed to get phone calls one a day and it goes around, it's reeled around with this big line and they just roll it around like on a I can't even remember what the hell it was. Just some like rolling chair or something. They just roll this damn thing around from cell to cell. And I was on the end, right? I was on the end. So every time the phones came around, I'd probably get it like late as hell, you know, the last on the list. And then most people, they'd be riding it over and over and over again, you know, and everyone's snapping like past the phone. Well, this dude comes into this, and I only used the phone back there probably 2 or 3 times. That's how crazy it was. 2 or 3 times out of the 5 days or so that I was already in there, and I had to use it really, really late at night, you know. But it was treacherous, man, hearing my old lady's voice in that damn cell. Whew. Horrible pain, man. Horrible pain. But it's still good to hear it. Anyways, this was another amazing part about the whole situation. How I knew this dude had some pull in that jail, man. And this is my first time seeing it happen in this jail, in this establishment. As soon as he was done pumping kites and talking to all the trustees and people and shit, they immediately brought the phone to our cell. This dude was on the phone for like 3.5, 4 hours straight. And every time he hung up, I was hoping to God he'd say, hey, you want to use the phone? I'm like, yeah, please let me use that damn phone. Finally, after hours of him being on the phone with his old lady, I'm telling him I heard all the sweet nothings. I heard everything. You can't help but to hear what the dude's talking to the chick about. I mean, it's quiet as hell, you know. I'm sure everyone around him heard it too. But finally, the moment has arrived. He goes, bro, you want to use the phone? Yeah, I guess I'll take a couple spins, bro. Appreciate it. Inside my head, I'm like, oh, do I? I was doing cartwheels inside of my head, man. But I had that phone for about 2 hours, you know, and it felt really good. But, you know, it just makes me think that a lot of these dudes in lockup or out here in the streets get the impression that you always got to be aggressive, right? You always got to be aggressive. You always got to claim your dominance, right? I agree to an extent, but there's...
Your dominance can get you sent straight to the grave, straight to the infirmary, straight airlifted out of that prison, out of that jail. You gotta weigh things out. Hey, you gotta weigh things out.
There's also times where you really just gotta analyze the situation, man. You know, and let your ego take a loss sometimes. You know, take that bottom bunk for the last 2 days. Even if he didn't have the phone. You know, I didn't think he was gonna have a phone like he did and stuff like that, but respectfully, this dude was older than me. He's massive, you know? And me being the respectful person that I am, I'm a young buck, I'm smaller, I could easily get up on the top bunk without it, you know, with ease. This dude probably, you know, I wouldn't want this big, massive dude climbing over me, you know, every 10 minutes. I wouldn't want that. So that's just how I move. And some people, they don't move like that. They think it's some kind of, you know, alpha male competitive session 24/7, and it's not like that. If you think like that going to prison, you're going to have a very, very hard time, and chances are you might not make it out of there. But that was my time in one of the worst holes I've ever been in my life.
Yeah, he absolutely right, man. You got to weigh your options out. You got to be smart, man. You got to be smart. Here you go, 140 pounds. Then you get this big man coming here that's 280 pounds, all muscle, and he tell you, well, he asks you, yo, let me get the bottom bunk. And you like, no, I ain't doing nothing. You ain't getting nothing. If you ain't willing to push that blade, and even sometimes with that, pushing that blade don't solve everything, because this man probably been stabbed up many times. In fact, he get off on getting stabbed. And he take that blade and put it on you, well, it is what it is. Y'all hit that like button. Lockdown 23 and 1. I'm out.